Hi guys, so I'm going to read Brave and the Bold number 62. So the Brave and the Bold presents Starman and Black Canary, a sensational comic book first. The Sportsmaster and Huntress, as Mr. and Mrs. Menace sets sinister snares on their big superhero hunt. Special superstar comeback, Wildcat. Starman and Black Canary. Many years have slipped by since the notorious Sportsmaster, the all-around athlete who used his extraordinary skills to commit crimes, has ventured out on one of his spectacular forays. Now, with the equally infamous Huntress as his mate, in crime as well as in life, the sports ace makes a sensational comeback, with loot and lawmen as the prize targets. Providing the competition are Starman and Black Canary, terrific teammates themselves, who call upon their remarkable resources to challenge their rivals with skill for skill, trick for trick, and trap for trap in The Big Superhero Hunt. Story by Gardner Fox. Art by Murphy Anderson. Guest star Wildcat. An artistry of genius has shaped the wax mannequins at the annual Sportsman Show in Federal City. The great Greek boxer Milo stands beside Discobolus, and beyond them is the marathon runner, Feedipes.
I never saw anything so real.
They're absolutely lifelike.
Lifelike? How true. For even as admiring eyes stare upward at the discus thrower carved by Myron, the waxen image stirs.
Oh, it's starting to move.
Let's get out of here.
Discobolus stands erect, the wax of his arms and legs, chest and torso, cracks wide open to reveal a fisherman garbed figure.
No need to shriek, my good ladies. I shall not harm you, nor anyone else who does not stand in my way of fishing for a prize catch.
Eee!
Outward flies a trout lure toward the famous Parker Trophy, awarded to the outstanding athlete of the year. The trout rod bends and the reel whizzes.
Observe my perfect cast, folks. If you weren't so frightened, I'm sure you'd be applauding it.
A hook snatches up the Parker Trophy. In response to the strong tug of the angler, the cup flies upward and across the room.
Why doesn't somebody stop him? What's happened to the guards?
A powerful hand tightens on the prize cup. Another hand sends the fly darting outward like the tongue of an asp.
Stop me if you can. I welcome it. It'll give zest to my theft. Since I made all these wax figures here, I was able to gimmick them to serve my purposes.
Touched by the flying trout lure, the wax tennis figures fall apart, and the room is promptly blasted with flying tennis balls.
Watch out! Those things are hard! They can knock you out!
As the guards race in, the fly rod begins again.
Ha 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 ha! I haven't had so much fun since Green Lantern and I used to tangle in our frantic battles. And I'm still full of the old mustard.
Editor's note: sports slang for fighting spirit. Another statue cracks wide open, and now the room becomes a deadly bowling alley, as
not even the special operatives from the Larry Lance Detective Agency can stop that guy.
Meanwhile, unaware of the goings-on in the room above them, the director of the Sportsman's Show is dining with Mrs. Larry Lance.
Larry was wrapped up in an urgent case. Mr. Benson. So he asked me to fill in for him.
I assure you, Mrs. Lance, I'm more than satisfied with the substitution. When they leisurely make their way to the show floor, I never enjoyed a dinner so much, and look! That fisherman is the Parker Trophy!
He was a fisherman.
Out of one sports costume into another, instead of trout boots, the Sportsmaster switches to jet skis.
Now he's a skier.
Mrs. Lance, your men were hired to protect the Parker Trophy. You're in charge here. What are you going to do about it? Those jet skis erupt with power that carries the athletic archcriminal upward toward a high window.
I'm the only costume villain who masquerades in a uniform to suit the occasion. Here's where I take off on an uphill slalom.
I'll do something all right, but not as Dana Drake Lance.
In a deserted lounge room of the great show palace, she swiftly changes her garments, with the ease of long practice.
Now I'm all set to go, as the Black Canary.
Not far away, on his magnificent estate in Federal City, business tycoon and amateur astronomer Ted Starman Knight is surveying his recently completed gardens. Another of my pet hobbies, fulfilled. To set up models of the great astronomical observatories of the world on my estate, in settings appropriate to their location. Here are scaled duplicates of the observatory at Jaipur, India, Herschel's telescope, and the massive dome of Mount Palomar. He pauses in his walk of inspection, and a slow smile creases his lips. And the prize model of them all, a full-size reproduction of the Pekin Observatory, which I shall use for my own astronomical research. Suddenly, in the dark night, a voice cries out,
Help! I'm trapped! Oh!
What in blazes? How did anyone get into the Pekin Observatory? He leaps forward, right into a maze of interlocking corridors and high walls. The Chinese built this observatory in the form of a maze. It's so complicated, I haven't learned my way about it yet. Well, I know how to lick that difficulty. Next moment, his powerful hands throw off his evening garb to reveal the scarlet costume of Starman. If there's one thing I've learned in my double identity life, it's to be ready for Starman action at any time. His cosmic rod glows with the immense powers of the stars. From those distant suns he draws the energies of which he is the master. As Starman, I'm not earthbound. I can leap above these maze-like walls and locate the source of that cry. He hurtles downward toward a barred cage at the heart of the great observatory, catching sight of the crumpled form of a costumed figure. Oh, I thought that was a girl, so sorry about that. So that's Wildcat in the cage. Good gosh! That distress call came from Wildcat, a one-time member of the Justice Society of America. Yeah, I did the girl because I knew it was going to be Huntress there. But he drops toward the inert figure in the jungle cage, unaware that he in turn is being watched by a beautiful woman, crouched like the haunting tigress she resembles.
Starman. I never expected him to show up when I set out to capture my long-time nemesis, Wildcat. But now, I'm glad he did. The Huntress will have 2 superheroes to add to her collection.
Suddenly, the mad thunder of beating wings interrupts Starman before he can free Wildcat.
Go, my pets! Bring me that man who flies above me.
Hunting falcons. Deadly birds of prey who can strike with beak and claw. To avoid those flying furies, the Astral Avenger rises upward, his sharp eyes scanning the starry firmament. I don't want to kill those birds, but I sure intend to scatter them. Ah, just what I've been looking for. A shooting star. The cosmic rod pulses. Down from the ionosphere hurtles a blazing meteor drawn by the energies of the star scepter. I'll shatter the meteor to tiny bits and send that fiery rain downwards to drive those falcons away. Quickly, the Huntress sends up another call, bird-like cries that halt the panicky falcons in mid-flight.
Tweet, tweet, quack, 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 quack.
Regrouping, the birds swoop to battle once again. But now Starman summons down the powers of starlight itself, freezing it into great blue cubes. That solidified energy stops some of them, but the others fearlessly keep on coming. Once more his rod pulsates, as he brings the aurora borealis from the polar regions of the north, interposing that multicolored wall between himself and the predatory birds. There, that'll hold them. Will I take off after whomever was giving those commands to attack me? Sensing that her specially trained falcons are no match for Starman, the Huntress's is already in flight.
My time schedule's being knocked way off. I should be rendezvousing with Sportsmaster by now.
Swiftly follows the Astral Avenger, high above the countryside. So high is he, in fact, that he doesn't see another costumed figure land far below him.
Starman! What's he doing here? Huntress set out to bag Wildcat.
His pulses drum out a wild saraband as he discovers...
Huh? He's hot on the trail of the Huntress. I'll have to cool him off. As an expert in every phase of sport, I'll call on my skill as a javelin thrower to knock Starman out of the sky.
Swiftly and with unerring accuracy speeds that slender ski. It cleaves the air so swiftly, it whistles in its flight. Whoosh!
Huh?
The Rod Ranger turns, but too late to avoid the explosive impact of the ski missile. A witness to that aerial attack is Black Canary, as she vaults from her high-powered racing car.
Starman! Ski slammed. How'd he get tangled with the Sportsmaster?
Like a maid of ancient times, the blonde bombshell flings herself through the air.
Black Canary! I never counted on you being involved in this caper.
Why should all the surprises be on your side? I stopped you for no gain, Sportsmaster.
Standing on straddled legs, she heaves her foe aloft and...
Now I'm going to knock you for a goal.
Ugh! She's got me in an airplane spin.
She hurls him far through the air, twisting and turning helplessly.
Score one from my side.
The angry, panting girl gladiatrix does not see the bushes part behind her.
Perfect. This is turned into a triple header. First Wildcat, then Starman, and now the Black Canary, to add to my prized collection of superheroes.
The Big Superhero Hunt, Part 2. Like the hunting tiger which she closely resembles, in her fur uniform, the Huntress hurls herself into the fray. A striped thunderbolt, she careens into Black Canary, carrying her forward, half dazed by that terrific impact. And trapped by his own ski, the Sportsmaster is momentarily unable to lend an athletic hand to his partner in plunder.
Nobody can do that to my husband, Black Canary. Especially you. Your husband... Ow!
Blast this ski! Black Canary threw me so hard, she drove it deep into the ground.
Pinned by the ski, the Sportsmaster can only be an observer as the blonde bombshell turns a somersault in midair.
You drew cards in this game, so you're going to get grand slammed.
I got to get free. Give my doll a hand.
She comes out of that somersault hands first, using a springy tree branch to break her fall.
Now to follow through with a backflip.
Her hands release their holds. Her body travels onward, leaving the springy branch to whip back into the Huntress. Landing cat-like on her feet, the girl gladiatrix whirls and plunges toward the breathless Huntress.
Here's where a canary swallows a cat.
At this critical point, the Sportsmaster intervenes, with the ski that he has finally managed to free from the ground.
That upsets your plans, Black Canary.
Tripped off balance by that length of wood and metal, the Black Canary thuds hard into a tree bole.
Come on, kitten. We've still got our work cut out for us.
No. Let's blast out of here.
From a nearby sheltering cove, the Sportsmaster thrusts a jet power boat as the Huntress nimbly leaps aboard.
Didn't you have any confidence in me, baby? I could have handled Black Canary.
Maybe you could, but don't forget Starman was hard by. He might have come too and joined the fight, and we weren't prepared for that.
The jet power boat gathers speed, standing out across the lake.
Whoosh. Anyway, I got my trophy, Wildcat. How'd you do, honey?
Have a look at the Parker Trophy. It sure was a great day for us both when we got hitched up. It's a perfect partnership. I plan the spectacular capers.
And I catch the costumed heroes who try to interfere. Now that I've nabbed Wildcat, I'm going to round up Starman and Black Canary for my superhero lingerie.
That sounds sweet to me, sugar. And I'm gunning for another special sports award. The prize golf bag of that rich old eccentric moneybags, Morrison.
Okay, but first we have to gather up Wildcat. I left him caged on the night estate, where I lured him by letting him think it was to be robbed.
At this moment, Starman stirs to find a vision of blonde loveliness bent above him. Black Canary, I asked myself earlier what you're doing here. Now I'm asking you.
And I've been dying to find out your connection with the Sportsmaster and Huntress.
Their stories are soon told. Then Starman's cosmic rod pulses as, first thing we've got to do is get back and free Wildcat. Here, hold on.
It's good to be in action again with you so soon after our first team-up against the Mist.
Editor's note, Mastermind of Menaces, in the previous issue of Brave and the Bold. But when they arrive at the Pekin Observatory, he's gone. And not voluntarily, I bet. We have no way of finding out where they might have taken him. Or do we? It just occurred to me.
And me too, Starman. Sportsmaster skis. He left them behind when he escaped with the Huntress.
All night long beside the lake, the two grim figures crouch, ignoring the wind whistling through the underbrush, intent only on the skis of their sports foe. Sportsmaster was too intent on escape to grab up his skis.
He values them too much to abandon them. He'll be coming back for them.
Then, at dawn, the skis stir and suddenly take off into the air.
Sportsmaster's bringing the skis to him by remote control.
Where they go, we go, Black Canary. It's handout time again. Hold on. Like homing pigeons, the jet skis streak toward a heavily wooded area.
They're dropping down, but no sign of any hideout.
It may be a clever camouflage job. Sure enough, when they drop lower, they see a great chalet, nestled in among a stand of towering trees, hidden from overhead discovery. No sign of our quarry either.
If I know them, they're probably on their way to another crime. But first, let's see if we can find Wildcat.
A quick search leads to a vast cellar where...
Black Canary! Starman! Wouldn't you know? My first case after coming out of retirement. And not only botched the job, but I wind up a prisoner of the Huntress.
Gripping the bars of the cage, the two crime fighters release the lock and lift of the door of Wildcat's cell.
So the Huntress keeps all sorts of wild animals down here. Luckily, they're behind bars.
I overheard her say she's planning on adding you and Starman to her collection, too.
But as the cell door is raised, the bars of the other cages are automatically raised as well.
That Huntress is a cutie. She gimmicked her cages, so that if Wildcat freed himself, the wild animals will be released too.
Dooming wild...
Or that should be Starman talking. Or wait, it is, so it says Dooming Wild, so anyway, but...
Dooming Wildcat. Okay, fellow lawmen, let's start fighting.
A kangaroo leaps through the air. Its paws ram with the kick of a Missouri mule into Wildcat's chest.
That must be ruster than I thought, to let him get in the first blow.
Great muscles flex and bulge. A body that is like a steel spring erupts in furious action as...
I'm still the same Ted Grant, who was the undefeated heavyweight champion of the world before I retired.
The powerhouse left flashes in an overhand blow to KO the marsupial. A giant polar bear rises upward behind him.
I still haven't lost my knockout punch.
From behind, a great white furred paw slams into Wildcat.
I'll show that Arctic beast I'm still able to take a punch.
Without taking account, the ex-champ zooms back at his opponent.
Brother Bear, you're a sucker for a lift.
Meanwhile, Starman has been rammed into the bars of a cell by the leap of a great black panther.
Get my cosmic rod. Him away from me.
From the cosmic rays that travel everywhere, he summons anti-gravitic power to lift the screeching feline high into the air. Up you go, fella! As the panther crashes hard into the stone ceiling, a wild-eyed tusker thunders from the shadows. That boar thinks he has a clear shot at me. Drawing an errant moonbeam through a barred window, the Rod Ranger converts it into a cage before the onrushing animal. Come on in, my cagey friend. Black Canary is dwarfed by a great gorilla, reaching for her with powerful hands.
My only way out is to come to grips with the big ape.
In sheer strength, the girl gladiatrix is no match for her anthropoid foe, but she possesses the quick wit and intelligence of the human being.
I've got to turn its own great strength against it, judo fashion.
She nimbly slips beneath the awesome beast and heaves upward in a CO nage.
This shoulder toss is based on the theory of the greatest energy, with the least effort.
As she suddenly straightens up, the gorilla goes flying back into its cage.
And away he goes.
Next moment, Starman activates the moonlight into tongues of flame, before which the other beasts slink back into their cages. As soon as they're all behind bars, slam those cell doors shut. Meanwhile, miles away, Sportsmaster and Huntress are stepping onto a putting green, completely surrounded by trees, bordering a golf fairway.
No newfangled golfing attire for me. I like these old-fashioned +4s when I go golfing.
Good hunting for both of us. The money-filled golf bag for you. Starman and Black Canary for me.
As the athletic archcriminal trips a secret switch in the putting green, it rises into the air.
Do you think those two crime busters will show up here to try to capture us?
Of course, husband dear. We planned it that way. By now they will have followed your skis to the chalet. In attempting to free Wildcat, they'll have been delayed by my trained animals. After that, Wildcat will tip them where we've gone, where I conveniently let him over here. Once I capture them, it'll be a snap to recapture Wildcat.
The Big Superhero Hunt, Part 3. Upward across the pairways of the Federal City Country Club soars that marvel of aerial locomotion, the Sportsmaster's flying putting green. But on its springy turf, the athletic archcriminal tees off with a driver, not a putter, as he sends golf ball after golf ball soaring out across the fairways and the greens on his never-ending quest for loot.
I'll get rid of the players in my golf tournament with my perfectly placed shots.
Ready with your number 2 iron, dear. We're getting so close now. A driver isn't the proper club.
As the golf balls rocket off the perch, the greens and fairways become covered with fallen players and caddies.
There! The coast is clear for me to grab the money.
Starman and the others ought to be along pretty soon now.
Ahead of the Mr. and Mrs. Menace is the prize golf bag, filled with $100,000 in cash.
I always insisted on paying the winner of my golf tourney with cash, but now it looks as if a non-player is going to walk off with it.
Behind the Sportsmaster and Huntress, in their chalet, a heated argument is going on.
What? Me? Stay behind and guard the fort? Will you two go out and wrap up this case? Nothing doing. I want to go where the action is.
But they may escape from us, or even capture us.
Then you'd be our surprise weapon, Wildcat, to clinch the fight in our favor.
How about that? After I spilled everything to you, telling you when and where they're going to steal the money, filled golf bag, you leave me stranded here.
Not stranded, on guard.
Believe me, if we didn't have the utmost confidence in you, We wouldn't let you stay here to capture the Sportsmaster and Huntress.
Sure. Only if they escape from you. Fat chance of that.
Starman and Black Canary soar skyward, as Wildcat shouts his final say on the matter.
All right, but I still say I'm being cheated.
The only cheating going on right now is at the country club, where the Sportsmaster is taking a prize that doesn't belong to him. Some minutes later, the sports star is casually breaking a world record in the long jump as...
Got it! 100,000 prize money. That should be mine anyhow. Because I'm the world's greatest golfer.
To add to our triumph, here comes Starman and Black Canary toward our trap.
The flying putting green takes to the air again.
Then we attack them as planned. Starting with my brassy beanie at Starman.
I'll wrap up the Black Canary.
A sunbeam forms a tennis racket for the Astral Avenger, as... Trying the Goldfinger hat trick, eh? Okay, let's see how you handle my return. The Sports 8 dusks, just in time to avoid an overhead explosion.
Nice play, Starman, but I'm switching games with this cup pole. Here's where this disguised guided missile makes a fall guy out of Starman.
The way Sportsmaster keeps bombarding me with his weapons, as if trying to maneuver me toward Black Canary. Just below him, the Huntress has hurled or lured the girl gladiator into a cunningly hidden trap.
Oh! I catch wild animals in such pits, Black Canary, but I have a better prison prepared for you.
Turning about, the jungle Amazon leaps over the Black Canary, grasping her wrists.
Now to coordinate my movements with those of my mate and trap them both.
The weight of the Huntress's flying body and her superb muscles lifts her victim out of the pit.
A well-timed flip, and Black Canary will be in trap position.
Chased along by the guided missile, Starman sizes up the situation. The teamwork of Sportsmaster and Huntress is aimed at getting me and Black Canary underneath the golf green. It all adds up to an unseen trap. Suddenly, the cosmic rod pulses. I'll have to do some golfing of my own to blast out of that trap, wherever or whatever it may be. Shafts of sunlight dig deep into the golf fairway. They lift 3 divots upward, sideways, and backward.
Thanks, Starman. That slowed my progress just enough.
Huh? Starman bunkered and sand-trapped me.
Black Canary drops down on the startled Huntress.
Starman and I've tumbled to the fact that the flying putting green is supposed to trap us in some way.
Her hands grip and lift.
No! So instead of me getting under it, the Huntress will take my place. Ah!
Just as the flying divot sweeps the Sportsmaster off his feet.
The least Starman could have done before hitting me is called out for.
Right into the fist of Starman. Under that flying green must be some sort of cage or trap to be activated from on top. As the third flying divot hits the guided missile, blowing it sky high, Starman leaps onto the flying green. There must be some contraption here that will imprison anyone below. I can't waste time hunting for it. I'll use the cosmic powers of my rod to activate it. As the flying bodies of the Huntress and Sportsmaster crash together, steel bars drop from the flying green, pitting them securely.
Got 'em both!
After the villainous duo has been taken to police headquarters, the stolen Parker Trophy is returned to the Sportsman's Show, where it is presented by Ted Wildcat Grant, as Dinah Drake Lance and Ted Knight look on. So they're clapping. Clap, 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 clap.
It's too bad the Sportsmaster prefers to use his great athletic skill to commit crimes.
Yes, for otherwise, he might very well have won that Parker Trophy. Legally. All he'll win now is a long jail term. And that's the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.